Columbus Elementary School, and today we are recycling.
Hello, my name is Sonia Nunez, and I'm the principal of Columbus Elementary School in New Rochelle, New York. At Columbus, we started a recycling initiative about 3.5 weeks ago, and we want to make a difference and make sure that our students are aware of what the environment can look like with and without recycling.
I was so surprised when we started to sort our waste. We only had 8 pounds left that was not recyclable. 8 pounds instead of 400.
I learned that I can make a difference every day.
I learned that it is not difficult or more work to sort out waste into recycling. It is actually a lot of fun, and every day Columbus students of all grades are helping out at the stations with the sorting.
Hi, I'm Anna Giordano.
And I'm Ashley Weldy. We're from We Future Cycle.
We are trying to change what's happening in lunchrooms to bring environmental education and hands-on source separation to the children.
If you can hear me, clap 1 time. If you can hear me, clap 2 times.
Today is our very, very first day to make a difference. The very first day today is actually a survey day.
The children helped us survey the current situation in the lunchroom.
Every item that you bring that contains food or drink is going to be counted.
They counted everything that came into the lunchroom. How many juice boxes, how many plastic bags, how many yogurt cups, how many bottles. And we called the information and got a good idea as to what is coming into the building.
As a parent, I found it heartbreaking to know that every day children were dumping all of their lunch, their tray, their plastics, their food into one receptacle, and they didn't have any options to do anything different with it. So we weighed all of the waste from the lunchroom, including the food, the trays, the liquid, and it was 398 pounds for this school of 800 children. So that's 398 pounds of waste that's being generated every single day.
And then the next day, the children helped me set up a recycling station, which is actually just a sorting station. Because once you sort out materials, they can be fed into different recycling streams.
The first thing that they do in the program is pour the liquid out of their juice box or milk carton, and that just gets poured down the drain. Then they sort their waste. Food and paper can go into compost. And everything else can go into commingled. So we're showing them how much of the trash that they throw out every day can actually be sorted into recycling and composting streams. And in the end, only about 5% that's remaining is trash. Once we separated the waste into liquids, commingled, milk cartons, and compost, we found that only 8 pounds of that 398 pounds was trash. That's only 2% of the school waste that can't be diverted into recycling or composting streams. Schools actually spend a lot of money on waste removal. They spend a lot on black plastic liners and just trash pickup. But often recycling is free. So the more waste that they divert into recycling, they can often have fewer garbage pickups or also just reduce the amount of trash that's picked up and save money for their school. This is food that the children didn't even open. They received it, but they didn't touch it. So if we put that in a share basket, it can be used with children in after-school programs. Sometimes teachers will pick it up for kids who need food, or it can be donated. And it's completely safe to do that and legal.
these plastic containers cost 7 cents. Can you believe that?
These are just some of the plastic packages of pears that we retrieved from one lunch period of about 250 kids. They were completely untouched. Yesterday they were served fresh pears, and we had over 100 fresh pears that we collected that would have gone straight into the trash without even having a single bite taken out of them. It all goes into the trash and then is trucked up to an incinerator in Peekskill where it's burned.
With everything new, they were a little worried about it, and it took, of course, a little bit of time for the children to understand what we were doing. But once they got it, they were very enthusiastic sorters.
We're gonna be recycling plastics, liquids.
I'm going to recycle my plate, my milk carton, and my sport.
Because now they burn it, and then a lot of smoke comes in the air, and then we breathe that, and that's not good.
We're polluting the earth and the air.
Smoke comes up and then you're inhaling that, and that's bad for your lungs.
And since we don't sort it, they burn it, and then smoke comes up. And that causes global warming. I think recycling is important because it helps us breathe.
If the earth piles up with too much garbage, then we have nowhere else to go.
So we don't throw things that it could be a treasure for another person, but it could be trash to us.
When you sort it by material, it makes less waste. I think we're supposed to do it every day.
It's good for our community, and it's fun to do for the world, and it helps our entire world.
Reduce, reuse, recycle. It feels good because it's helping everybody, and it's a good idea.
What we learned is, in order to make this project work, it really takes many partners in the game. So we're not just trying to work with the students. Of course, we want to teach the students that they have the responsibility, and they really have action and activity and capabilities to make a change. Even kindergartners can make a change, and that's what we want for them to be empowered with. But we also want lunchroom ladies that have been doing the job for 20 years. We want them to understand that change is good. Change does not mean it is more work. Change does not mean it's more complicated. Change can be really good. And the custodians have completely caught on to that here change is good because they have much less to do.
I helped weigh the garbage. It weighs nearly 400 pounds. I learned that plastic is not garbage if it is sorted out to be recycled. We have 2 very large bags of plastic that can now be recycled into other things instead of being burnt into our air. I noticed that many students don't drink all of their milk. We had 74 pounds, which is 18 gallons of leftover milk. We used to just put the whole container in the garbage, but now we empty it into a bucket. I learned that putting leftover milk down the drain feeds the good bacteria that cleans our water.
I learned food waste is not garbage. It can be turned into compost, which is good soil for our earth. Students sometimes take a lot more food than they want to eat.
I learned that I know more than my parents about recycling, so I will teach them now.
One thing also is that when children start putting things in compost and recycling, when they go home, then they ask their parents, why am I throwing the banana peel in the garbage? And what about the apple core? And if I bring something in a reusable container instead of a plastic bag, then I don't have to throw the plastic bag in the trash. So the exciting thing is that the learning spreads through our communities and children become advocates for improving their environment.
I told my mom not to give me plastic baggies anymore for lunch. Now I have a lunchbox and a reusable container.
I help my classroom to keep the paper and commingle recycling organized, and I bring them to the highway stations to help the custodians.
Here at Columbus, we are making a huge difference.
The world is certainly going to be in better hands. You can make a big difference in taking care of the earth yourself and in spreading the news to your friends and your neighbors and those that may not be as aware as you are.
Yo quiero poner unos handicap porque quiero que lo pongan en la basura porque tenemos que cuidar nuestro planeta.
At Columbus, we're believing in reusing, reducing, and recycling.